All of these buildings all around here, as I told in class last night, they're ours. They belong to us. They're ancient, these buildings. There's a whole city underneath this city. They went and burned all the major cities, the major energy centers. Our ancestors set up these energy centers that we call Philadelphia, New York, Boston, Atlanta, Detroit, right? Chicago, Miami, Los Angeles. They are energy centers. They're not where they are in huge, large cities just because of some coincidence. There's energy and power in these places. London, Rio de Janeiro.
The Corn Palace. This building is allegedly made out of corn, bro. This entire palace. Green screen is messed up on TikTok, so I can't show y'all the full thing. This is a picture from 1942. Do you believe that this was built from corn by people that use a mail carry system of horses and buggies? A new civilization? It's another picture from 1942, bro. Or was this a different purpose building? And they put corn over it. We're living on the ancient remains of old world, bro. A lot of these mansions that you could visit, they got basements that go floors under, bro. If y'all want more like content like this, sub to my IC Tartaria page, man. Because I find this real interesting. I'm gonna be building this channel forever. They cracked the bells and cracked our frequency, man. These pictures just crazy. And you see this a lot. And they said they used them for aluminum for bullets or some goofy shit like that. We're not buying that, bro. Look. And look who's standing by them good Freemasons. Hands in your, get your hands on my pocket. Just knock like disrespect. Burning buildings now that contain high frequency bills. Look at this one. That look like bro just lunging the bill out of a high story building. Like just. So not only is we walking on buried, mud flooded ancient civilizations everywhere in this world, and most of the mansions you see, I just saw something called the Corn Palace. That fucked my head up. Just lying about anything. But they also lowered the frequency on the realm. Why though? Who did this? It's no way it was just some rich oil guzzlers. This had to be something different, bro. That's why I said, bro, I'm tired of that. I'm not playing no race car, no sexism car. It's about these families, bro. Who families lied about who and who been deceived? Who is using their hidden hand to push these agendas, bro? You can tell they took all the spice and flavor out. Bro, this is a building in Moscow, bro. It looked like something that came out of Disney, man. And you know the whole planet probably used to look like this, bro. Amazing and beautiful. And all the buildings you walked in gave you more net, gave you more power, more energy. Now you walk in to see plastic. Now they just throwing up these disgusting, ugly, 15-minute high rises, man. No energy in it. Just occupying patients, occupying occupants. Not no other purpose. Oh, it's a purpose. Yeah. We gonna constrict that electricity. Well, how we gonna shake back, bro? Like, I don't think we could ever go back to them times. That's crazy. That's crazy, bro. If y'all want to hear more videos like this, sub to my YouTube, IC Tartaria. I'm gonna start getting on them. I'm gonna start getting on that channel.
The Tartaria mudflood theory is a controversial hypothesis that suggests a catastrophic event took place in the 18th or 19th century, resulting in a massive flood of mud that covered entire cities and wiped out entire civilizations. According to this theory, the civilization of Tartary, which was once a powerful empire that covered a large part of the Eurasian continent, was destroyed by this event, and its existence was deliberately erased from history by the ruling elite. One of the main pieces of evidence cited by proponents of the Tartaria mud flood theory is the presence of mysterious buildings and structures in various parts of the world that seem to be older than the officially recognized timeline of human history. These structures, known as megaliths, are often made of large stone blocks that would have been impossible to move and erect using the technology available at the time they were supposedly built. Another piece of evidence cited by proponents of the Tartaria mud flood theory is the strange architectural features found in many old buildings in Europe and elsewhere. These features, such as strange windows and doorways, seem to have no practical purpose and are unlike anything found in modern architecture. Proponents of the theory argue that these features are remnants of an older civilization that was destroyed by the mud flood. There are also claims that the Tartaria mud flood theory is supported by geological evidence. Some researchers have pointed to the presence of sedimentary layers in certain regions of the world that seem to indicate a massive flood event took place at some point in the past. Other researchers have claimed that the soil samples from various parts of the world contain high levels of unusual substances, such as iridium, that are typically associated with meteor impacts or other catastrophic events. Proponents of the Tartaria mud flood.
Not only did they take away the super jets, but the airships. What happened to the airships, bro? They said one incident had happened to where one crashed and they shut down the whole operation. But when you look at a lot of old world depictions, I'm not gonna say pictures because they might be depictions, right? You see these airships, bro. It'd be nice to be able to get on an airship and travel 30 minutes, 40 minutes, or 10, 15, across the state, across city lines. Like, think about California. Imagine if we had an airship in California, an airship in Texas. You gotta go to the airport, you go to your backyard and turn on your ship and follow the routes. What, you think it was because it was too chaotic? Nah, I'm not trying to hear none of that. Whatever excuse they gave, bro, it was the dumbest down. They're dumbing down humanity, man. This was one of the, I think it was called the Graf Zeppelin. That was one that was used in World War II. So, it's great.
Whole world, plastic.
During the service, swallowed up poor. And after they heard this, they wallowed on the floor. But I ignored and explored my history that was untold. Watch mysteries unfold. They dropped the jewel like Solomon, but never follow men. Cause if you do, your brain is more hollow than space oblivion. Or the abyss with no trace of trivia.
That doorway.
We
can't build buildings like that today. It's crazy, man. Crazy. Oh man, we at the Culver City stairs, man. But I think it's a mound. I think it's a pyramid that got vegetation all over the building. We don't even understand. We be living in old world civilizations. It's a new world built on top of it, bro. All right, man. So we made it to the top of the Culver stairs, man. See the land out there. Steep, very steep steps, man. But going around that go right past our eyes. Man. Tune in. That's it.
Look at the size of the building compared to the person. If you guys can see that, I'll try to zoom in right there. Look at that little itty bitty person right there. So that's the size of how large these wood and plaster buildings are made out of. This was all just built overnight. They even built statues like this overnight. That's what they're trying to tell us. I mean, look at this, looks like Paul Bunyan, or whatever that story was that they made up about Paul Bunyan. But this is just some random guy on a horse, which who really knows who he is? We have some horses, huge statues, which look like they were already here, a guy on a horse. And then also this Native American on his horse, which is interesting. Now here's a great one that's showing of a temporary building. Now let me show you the details of this one. Look at that. Temporary, they say. Even all those windows with archways. Imagine how much time it would take to put every single little window in here and every single little arch and do all of that work by hand. No machinery, no power tools, nothing of, say, what we have today. This would take a long time. I mean, I had a friend who I was watching who built an archway in one of his buildings, and it took a couple days. Well, these archways are about 100 times the size. What's also interesting is look at all those lightning rods up on top. Doesn't seem like they were too afraid of the lightning, that's for sure. Almost seems like they were trying to capture that lightning, kind of like what we've talked about in the past with the old world buildings.
The history we've all been taught is a massive lie. Before the civilization we have today, there was another civilization that's been hidden from us. The Tartarian Empire was a civilization that was far more advanced than us, but in a different way. They had harnessed the ability to use atmospheric energy they incorporated it into all of the buildings and were able to create free energy for everyone at all times. They had also harnessed the power of frequencies and were able to build grand architecture by manipulating substances and moving huge rocks through vibration. Hence the Great Pyramids and many other unexplainable architectural anomalies that were created in the past. The free energy was a threat to the massive oil industry and all the profits they were able to generate from the scarcity of oil. So the owners of this industry, who were extremely powerful, created a plan to take out this civilization and wipe them from history so nobody would ever know about free energy, and they destroyed all their architecture and technology. They did their best to cover up any evidence that the Tartarians ever existed. So this is why
they've been hiding the true answer to this question from us. Why are these doors and windows halfway in the ground? During the early 19th century, strange events were reported worldwide. Cities were being dug out from layers of mud and debris. Buildings were being revealed that were covered to their rooftops in mud. A global cataclysmic event buried entire civilizations, erasing them from history. But here is where it gets rather unsettling. The Tartarian Empire, an empire often depicted in old maps, was an advanced civilization that existed across Europe and Asia. They built architectural marvels, had access to advanced technology, and were able to harness energy from the atmos. The Mudflood, many say, was a deliberate attempt to wipe out Tartaria from history, hiding their advanced technology and knowledge. But it gets even darker. Look at the world's fairs of the late 1800s and early 1900s. These elaborate buildings, resembling ancient architecture, were supposedly built in just a few years. After the fairs, they were supposedly demolished. Was this to erase evidence of an advanced pre-existing civilization? The Chicago World Fair in 1893, the Paris Exposition in 1900, and the St. Louis World Fair in 1904. These events showcased magnificent architecture, and on official papers they were apparently built with plaster and wood. Do these look like temporary structures to you? The sudden disappearance of these architectural marvels raises the question, were they remnants of the Tartarian Empire, conveniently disguised as temporary exhibits and then destroyed to hide their origins?
Where does it look like I'm at? State of Arizona. What is it now? The House of Representatives. Yeah, all right, man. Wow. Then they put that ornament at the top. The State Senate building. If you could see this from an aerial view, it's crazy. Look at that. When did they even say this was built? They got the bell right there. I just peeped the bell. Boy, you ring this thing. Whoa, what does that say? Pennsylvania. Oh, it'd be right in her face. So this got gifted. Oh, they locked it down so you can't ring it. It'll probably help us out. That's the numbers on it. That shit crazy. Let me get out of here for the Illuminati get me. Bro, this is amazing, bro. I just feel like I'm... And this is Arizona, a newer state. Newer.